Hi everyone, it's Rachel here. I wanted to talk to you today about Bulletproof Matcha. So what is Bulletproof? So essentially Bulletproof is something, you probably heard of Bulletproof coffee. It is basically a drink where you've added a substantial amount of fat to. So traditionally for a Bulletproof anything, coffee or matcha, you're adding some sort of coconut oil or and butter together. So today I wanted to show you what I've done. I made a nice bowl of matcha, as you can see here, got a little bit of froth on. I make this the traditional way. I just pour a little bit of the hot water with the powder, whisk it just a little bit to get a nice paste, and then I continue by adding additional water to this, whisk some more with something like this, or you can also use one of these. So, and sometimes this is a little bit easier, especially when you're dealing with latte type situations. So anyhow, I made that the traditional way, and then I wanted to show you that there's a couple of options that you have. So my favorite coconut oil comes from Carrington Farms. I can actually get this on Amazon, which is pretty cool. I believe I've actually seen this at Woodman's also. Not sure if everyone has a Woodman's, but in my area, there is a Woodman's market. So I like to use their coconut oil. It's 100% organic. It is unrefined, cold pressed. So when we say unrefined, you can still taste the coconut flavor. Refined is when they've actually removed that flavor from the coconut. And a lot of times people like to use that when they're making like beauty products and things like that. So you don't have to get that coconut essence in any of those products. I personally prefer the coconut flavor. So when I make my drinks, I use that. And then you wanna but basically for coconut oil, you wanna use about a tablespoon. I know this sounds like a lot because fat is such a high caloric item, but not all fat is created equal, and I really want you to know that and remember that. Although not everyone's body works the same way, for me, fat is fuel, and I get additional energy from fat. I stay fuller longer, better, stronger workouts. I build muscle faster, etc. This would be something that you'd have to play with. You know, if you're really not sure what to do, talk to your doctor, whoever you trust with your health. It may be a conversation you want to have and ask. But never forget, not all fat is the same. So about a tablespoon of coconut oil, and then I do add butter to it as well, about a tablespoon as well. My favorite brand is Kerrygold. There's nothing fancy about it. They just make plain, regular, simple butter, no processed anything, which is why I love it. So this is the unsalted and this is the salted variety. I'm showing you both today because I want to let you know that when you're making a matcha latte, it's probably best to go with unsalted. Otherwise, you're going to get that salty flavor in your latte. Now, if you're okay with that and you like a little bit of that earthiness with a little bit of salt, and go for it. It's up to you on what you want to do. I prefer to get a richer flavor that kind of pronounces the natural earthy sweet flavor of the matcha without taking away from it by adding another factor. So I prefer the unsalted variety. So another tablespoon there. And so I mentioned that I have a couple of other options. Some of my friends out there are plant-based, vegan, and that's totally fine. So what you can still do is you can make one of these, because as it is right now, this is just water and pulverized tea leaves, right? So I found this from Thrive Market. It's coconut oil, but it has a buttery, naturally buttery flavor. So as it says on the back here, you've got organic refined expeller pressed coconut oil, organic natural flavor, organic amato extract for color. So amato is what's giving that little bit of a yellow, so they just put a tiny bit in there. But it has a buttery flavor to it, so if you kind of want to still get that butter and coconut effect, you can do something like this and still, stick with your dietary specifications. For me, I'm going to do butter and coconut oil. And by the way, the matcha that I use today, my absolute favorite is from Mazuba Matcha. I love their stuff. It is so good and always consistent. So if you ever wondered what my favorite matcha is, that's the one. I have several others that I like to drink as well, but that dream matcha that you always think about, that's the one. So anyhow, one last thing, I'm sorry. There's also a company called Bulletproof. They actually have just stable coconut oil in here. You can just use this if you wanted to. Add a little bit of butter or just stick with this. It's already liquid, so you can put it right in there. It's just supposed to be a little bit more potent than the regular coconut oil. For me, it's whatever. One isn't necessarily better than the other personally. I do like to use the Bulletproof oil from Bulletproof in my coffee at times. I kind of like to put in my mushroom matcha coffee in the morning, the stuff that I get from Four Sigmatic. But today we're gonna stick with the basics, just unsalted butter from Kerrygold and Carrington Farm coconut oil. I put a tablespoon each, melted it You can see over here, it's a little bit easier to work with once it's been melted. Sorry about the noise. Anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and pour that into my matcha. So some of the heat's already come off of this because I had prepared it in advance and I still want to take this video for you guys. So you can see, it's got a little bit of that oiliness to it. Now, like I told you before, I really like this on days where I just need a little bit more clarity, like more brain focus, just a little bit more energy. Like there's times of the month where I get really like extra munchy or hungry and I'm like, I know something's off. I need more fat to get me from one meal to the next so I don't maybe reach for that piece of bread or whatnot that I really don't need to have, you know, like I'm trying not to succumb to cravings that I don't need to succumb to, basically. So when I got home today after dropping off the car for some maintenance and a visit to my chiropractor's office, I'm all about maintenance. So anyhow, I decided, you know, I need something because I'm just craving a bunch of things I don't need to be craving. And so I'm like, okay, matcha latte, bulletproof matcha latte it is. So like I'm just using this little handheld electronic whisker. You just push the button and kind of watch it swirl. You get a nice froth off of it too. As long as everything is combined, you're good to go. I mean, it's so pretty. And it's definitely gonna be filling. Again, personally, I don't count calories, so for me, it's not really a big concern. I'm more about eating clean and making good food choices. If you ever have any questions on what that is for me and how that could be for you, as I said before, I am a health coach. I'm also certified in gut health, and I'm a certified tea specialist. So as such, you can always head over to my website if you want to know more about my history, what I've done before. Today, like I said, I just wanted to share with you this matcha goodness, and I'm hoping that I inspire you to try something like this pretty soon. And if you have any questions, you just comment, okay? Thanks so much for watching.